Okay. Hare Krishna. Happy New Year. Om Ajnanam Timirandasya Jnananjanashalakaya Chakshurunmilitam Yena Tasmai Sri Guruve Namaha. Sri Chaitanya Manovishtam Sthapitam Yena Bhutale Swayam Rupa Kadamayam Tadanti Swapadantikam Sri Krishna Chaitanya Prabhu Nityananda Sri Advaita Gadadara Srivasadi Gaura Bhakta Vrinda. Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama 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 Hare Hare. Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama 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 Hare Hare. Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama 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 Hare Hare. Srimad Bhagavad Gita ki jai. Ajanamanaha Bahuda Vijayate. It is said in the Shastras, the Supreme Lord, who doesn't take birth, has taken many life birth to deliver us from this samsara, this ocean of miseries that we are going through. Of all the avatars that he took, specifically Krishna avatar is very special because the only avatar which gave us a full-fledged, full version of the message, the Shastra, Gita Upadesha, which is the flashlight or a torchlight for one to be happy in this world, also in the world, in the spiritual world, or any planet if they would like to. So how can one be happy? So Bhagavad Gita teaches us all those things, specifically a message for us where one can take guidance from Bhagavad Gita, and also it teaches us very importantly, why are we born, why we have taken birth, and what is the cause of differences that we all have within ourselves, and why do our emotions fluctuate at times. Sometimes we are angry, sometimes we are very good to others, sometimes frustrated, sometimes not. We are feeling good about certain things. Sometimes so many things happens in our life. We like some things, we don't like some things. And why these things are happening. Specifically this particular topic is covered in this 14th chapter. And all those things are happening because of the influence of the three modes, which is part of our body, which originally from the Prakriti. And because of the influence of the three modes, we go into the different emotions in our life, which based on which mode we fall into. Sometimes we are in good mood, therefore we want to know things, good things, and then we feel proud and happy about it. Sometimes we want to do so much of over endeavor of certain things and enjoy doing certain work in that way. Sometimes we are in a mood of not at all wanting to do anything, just want to just sit down and relax or just sleep for all the time and be lazy, things like that. So it's all because of the influence of the three modes that we go through in our life. And therefore Krishna in this particular chapter identifies and gives us a way to understand this is the cause of your birth and three modes. Based on which mode you fall into, you act accordingly, and we are doing certain action that creates your reaction. Therefore obviously you have to get birth again, go through the sufferings of enjoyment and things. And we get caught with this because of three modes. The three mode gives us either two options to us. The options of based on the mode to have enjoyment or we suffer, and we make a decision based on these things, and we make a decision obviously we have to suffer or enjoy it for that particular reason. Therefore Krishna in this particular chapter identifies and tells what is mode of goodness, what is mode of passion, and what is mode of ignorance. And in the last class we saw how to identify these three modes. We have to identify the three modes because a very good warrior, if a best Kshatriya, a warrior, the warrior, more than knowing his strength, he needs to know the opponent's strength so he can plan accordingly and attack the person. He just cannot simply go straight into in Ramayana we see, in Mahabharata we see, before they get into the war, they try to understand what are their strengths and what is the form they have made to attack. All the different details are given. Raja Dharma, Yuddha Dharma, how to do those things. So they want to know everything in detail of the opponent's strength and weaknesses, so they can attack the respective party and win the whole war. Likewise, we should also know what are our strengths and what our weaknesses are. If you always think I'm very strong, I'm very, I can handle things, then overconfidence will push us somewhere. So we should also know our weakness. So especially to know those things, we should know that we have been influenced by the three modes. And the three modes are Sattva, Rajas and Tamas. And how do you identify these three modes? 11 and 12 slokas and 13 slokas gives us ways to identify the three modes. Once you identify the three modes, then we know this is what I'm being affected, influenced by. This is what mode that is attacking me. So what should I do is coming up later from the 19th sloka onwards, 20 sloka onwards. Sarvadhareshu dehe asmin prakasa upajayate jnanam yada tata vidyat vridam sattvam iti uta. So in this particular thing, Krishna says that one can identify the mode of goodness when all the dwara, jnana dwara, that thing which receives knowledge is illuminating with knowledge. If I can see something and make sure what I'm seeing is the right thing, then that means I'm in mode of goodness, right? If I'm seeing something and I'm not able to identify, it's obviously the mode of ignorance. I should see things as that is. That's what is Krishna saying in this particular sloka. And then in the 12th sloka, what is the mode of passion? How do I identify? Lobha, pravritti, arambha, karmanam asamaha spriha, rajasi etani jayante, vivride bharatarshava. Lobha, pravritti, arambha. That is all the reasons. He says that how lobha, greed. Greed is one of the things. When you're very greedy of wanting more things or not wanting to give what you have to others, then that's a sign of passion, mode of passion, right? That's a mode of passion. The pravritti, and always thinking about wanting to do something which is of useless. It's not going to give ultimate result, but some useless work. Arambha, similar. Asamaha, not having a peace of mind because the senses are pulling him in all the directions. So these are the signs of what is mode of passion, and mode of ignorance is aprakasho apravrittischa pramado moha evacha tamase etani jayante vivrida kurunandana. Aprakasho apravrittischa, and it's just a prakasam. Mode of goodness is prakasa, illumination, and exactly opposite of that is aprakasho, darkness. Means there's no proper understanding of anything. This person have no understanding. Sometimes this person projects himself, he has all the understandings. Right? He projects as if he knows everything. Right? Aprakasha. And he will be very strong in having that idea to himself. Right? So, apravrittis, and laziness. Laziness is another sign. If one is very lazy, always trying to push their work, doesn't want to do anything, that's a sign of ignorance, mode of ignorance, tamoguna. And the person who is always thinking too much about everything, is not in mode of goodness. That person is mode of passion. One has to have a proper planning for sure, but too much thinking and not thinking is not good. Okay? So that's what's been told in this. We can identify over here. Now, at the time of death, right? That's told in the 14th sloka and the 15th sloka. We'll cover that one. A person who dies in the mode of goodness, we covered this one, just a recap. And the person who dies in the mode of goodness, right? Yada sattve pravrittetu pralayam yati deha vritte tadottama vidham lokan amalan pratipatyate. A person who dies in the mode of goodness, he attains the higher planetary system where he has as association, people around him are also in the mode of goodness. In other words, we can say a person who dies in the mode of goodness will be given an opportunity to be born in a family which is in mode of goodness. Who's in mode of goodness. So in that way, he is given an opportunity again. Not simply because we are in a mode of goodness, our account is finished. We have just started to be in mode of goodness. So he has to further progress in mode of goodness, because the later part of the slokas will tell us what it means by mode of goodness and what is not, and etc. etc. We will wait for that particular thing. So a death occurs to the mode of goodness person. He is obviously evil, a family in such nature. who are also interested in pious activities, religious activities, and so forth. A person who dies in mode of ignorance, passion and ignorance are these people. Rajasi pralayam gatva karma sangeshu jayate. Karma sangeshu jayate. Pralayam gatva means when this person dies, pralaya time, when the body is gone, he takes another birth, jayate, takes another birth. How? Karma sangeshu, those family which is very much interested in only working like anything, hard workers. Right? Because why? Obviously, this person dies in the mode of passion. He has to be born into that particular family where work hard, workaholic family, or just running for it, everything and anything just like that. And that's the family he'll be born into. So he can further get progress in that area. That's all it is. And the last one is Tata pralinis tamasi mooda yoneshu jayate. This is a sad part. A person who is more lazy, doesn't do anything, careless, doesn't have a proper understanding of things, is much more in a critical situation where he'll be born into mooda yonishu. Mooda yonishu means the foolish living entities who doesn't have intelligence, right? Obviously, in other words, it's not talking about human at all. Among human also, there's no this category. This can satisfy. This criteria can satisfy. Doesn't have intelligence, all those things. But more than less than that is not even human, into a jandu, stavara, and so forth. He just goes lower and lower because he's been given an opportunity with an intelligence, so he can progress more. But he's not making use of his intelligence. Therefore, he doesn't need that one. He has to go down further and further and further down. That's what it is. The opportunity is given, misused. Therefore, you come back later. So what we are going to see today is 16, 17 and 18 and 19 is one set. And then 20th onwards, the whole prakarana, the things changes. And 21, Arjuna is going to ask a question. And then the rest of the chapter is all Krishna's answering Arjuna's question of Arjuna, what he asked. So we'll wait for what Arjuna asked and then. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Karmanah Sukritasyahu. Satvikam, right? Satvikam nirmalam phalam. Rajasastu phalam dukkam. Ajnanam tamasa phalam. What happens after that? He's born he's born into a pious family, he's born into a workaholic, karma sangeshu jayate, into a family of like that. He born in mooda yoneshu, in a lower. So what is that? What is after that? Is that all? He's done with, after he's born, is he done? No, he's not done. So what's happening with him? Is this what happening? Please read.
The result of the pious action is pure and is said to be in the mode of goodness. But action done in the mode of passion results in misery, and action performed in the mode of ignorance results in foolishness.
So karmana sukritasya. So karmana satustasya, this loka covers all those three things. Karmana sukritasya means this person is born again and again into a family of person who is in a religious mode of goodness, and he enjoys by cultivating more knowledge. Right? Sukham, jnanam and sukham are the two criteria of mode of goodness. If you should remember these things, what are the two factors of symptoms or identification of mode of goodness? Is jnana, cultivation of knowledge, through which one gets sukham, happiness. So he further gets into that one. Satvikam nirmalam phalam. So, but the thing is that he is progressing on a positive side. Obviously, he might have started in a lower thing of just being very happy and very knowledgeable, maybe whatever, the proud and whatever it may be. But slowly, those things are going away. He is progressing on a positive aspect. That is very good. Slowly is progressing, right? Rajas too, phalam dukkam. What about Rajas? Where does it take them? Dukkam. Further and further and further, only miserable situation happens to him. He gets into dukkam because he's only thinking about his work activities, always working, wanting to work, least worried about anything else. Obviously, he's going to fall into dukkam. Why? Because he's always expecting what? Result. Always expecting result or something of material result. Sometime he may get, sometime he may not get. Therefore, he is always in a situation where he's fearful. Therefore, dukkam, fearful nature is not going to make a person happy. If you're always in a fear, how can we be happy? We are always in a fear, right? Is this going to happen to me? Is not going to happen to me? Will I get that? Will I not get that? If we have these things in our mind always, that means we are not happy in our life. Okay? So that's the point here. Rajasastu phalam dukkam. Ajnanam tamasaha phalam. Ignorance. Rajasastu phalam dukkam leads to misery again and again because interested only in material gains. Even if it is to achieve heaven, still misery awaiting. Even if he goes to a heavenly planet, doesn't matter. Dukkam. There also dukkam. Because it's very uncertain when this person will be thrown out of heaven. Right? Therefore it's a dukkam. That happiness we get in heaven is also dukkam. Therefore, that's what it says. In uncertain. Take further lives to gain again, enjoy the results, and this goes on forever, makes it harder to get out of this cycle. Because he's always working hard to get good karma. The Rajas person, he does some puja. Of puja he is wanting to get something out of it, to enjoy. So he is always trying to do good activities. Not that he's not going to do bad activities. We're just talking about this one part of the aspect of it. He does something, therefore he has to enjoy. Therefore to enjoy, he has to take birth. In the process of trying to enjoy these things, obviously this person is going to commit some mistakes. When he commits a mistake, again the bad karma has been increased. Therefore he has to also suffer. Either way, dukkam. Either way, it's going to lead this person to dukkha situation. Ajnanam tamasaha phalam. Ajnanam is tamasaha phalam. What is a fruit? Three things we are seeing in this sloka. One is dukkam is the phalam. Phalam means result or fruit. Result of Rajas person is dukkam. Result or what the fruit of the ignorant person is ajnanam. And what about the other person, mode of goodness? Sukham. Nirmalam. Sukham. Right? Sukham. So either ajnanam tamas phalam further takes lower into birth. Animal life is always miserable, although under the spell of illusory energy. Right? One might be thinking that I'll be very happy. Sometime, people have this idea. Look at this bird. These are, the nature lovers. But then the way that love is totally different. The way they think is, look at this bird. No paying, doesn't need to go and do the tax return 2018. Doesn't need to go shopping. Nothing. How happily, free bird. Have you heard this term? How free bird. What is free bird? You have to be in that body to understand how free it is. Right? That bird is, winter it has to travel from one end to another country. And again it has to come when some season changes. It has to look for the food. And life is very short. And no intelligence of what higher intelligence, it has its own limited intelligence. Okay? So just think about ourselves putting into the situation of these bodies. They will not agree. You go and talk to a bird, you are suffering. He is going to tell, why am I suffering? You are suffering. A bird is going to tell the same thing. The dog is going to tell the same thing. Everything is going to be saying the same. They all feel they are very happy in their life. Like how we all feel, I am very happy in this body. Right? But are we not sure? Don't we understand that the animal life is miserable? Right? Animal life is miserable, but the devatas are thinking the body that you are having is miserable. The devatas are looking at us and telling human miserable because they are in a higher platform. Brahma is telling Indra, you are miserable. You are having a miserable body. You are going to be finished. And the Supreme Lord is saying, Brahma, what about you? So that's how it goes. Step up, step and step and step. Everyone is thinking they are all very nicely situated. Ajnanam is because of the Maya, the civilization which guides therefore where does our civilization, we talk about civilization a lot. Now we have to be a civilized person. Civilized person. Right? What does it mean to be civilized person? Civilized person is a person who can cultivate higher knowledge. Not the knowledge to pull a person further down. But just think about our civilized country, civilized nation, civilized society we are in. It's all talking about how to progress materially. Is it not? That's called civilization. Right? If you don't know how to use a spoon to eat, you're not a civilized person. Right? You are eating by hand, yucky. Right? Or if you're doing something, you're not dressed up very nicely. Right? You're not a civilized person. Right? And especially in the schools and colleges you go, if you're not part of their gang, if you do not smoke, if you do not take alcohol, you will be treated somewhat less. We know this one. You're not part of you're not part of their group anymore. You're a different person. You don't smoke, you don't drink, you don't have a girlfriend or a boyfriend. How do you feel? Therefore, the civilization is driving even a good person in such a way that fall into this category. Otherwise, you will be left out. Peer pressure. Therefore, I have to do these things. Right? You know this one. Sometimes people have this idea: social drinking, social smoking. I might have told you, I can't remember, please forgive me if it's repetition. We are just looking for some matrimonial thing, right? This is for someone, matrimonial. And then there are different options: male, education, America, working in America, visa status, everything is there. There's also, it's an Indian website. Therefore, there's the option: you smoke, do you drink, etc. There's an option: no, yes, social. And you can see people have selected social because otherwise you're not in society. You're not part of the gang, right? Therefore, that's nothing but ajnanam. This is nothing to. We have no need to really satisfy anyone else. We are just killing ourselves by trying to satisfy others. In reality, we don't need to fear of society. We need to have fear of God. We need to be fearful of the Shastra, Dharma Shastra. That is what we need to be fearful of. Right? The same society will praise one time. The same people will also criticize you. Either way, they are going to tell something or the other. So we have to be very watchful of where civilization is heading. Therefore, it is important to understand the family we born into and live life to progress further towards mode of goodness and beyond. Right? We should understand which family we belong to. Right? Therefore, make use of that opportunity to further progress further and further and further, not to degrade lower and lower and lower. That's text number 17. Krishna is further explaining what is the nirmalam, dukkam, ajnanam. Sattvat sanjayate jnanam rajaso lobha eva cha pramadamoho tamaso bhavato jnanameva cha.
From the mode of goodness, real knowledge develops. From the mode of passion, greed develops. And from the mode of ignorance develops foolishness, madness, and illusion.
Krishna is just, summarizing and just giving what is the three terms: nirmalam, dukkam, ajnanam. Not something new. He's just putting everything together over here in the sloka. Nirmalam means which is not contaminated. Amalam. Malam means contaminated. Amalam, nirmalam, not contaminated. Not contaminated is very pure of his knowledge. Therefore, get further birth into a pious family. Why? Due to the sukritam. All those acts as it does. Dukkam gets birth further and further into the impious family due to the lobha. This impious family. Impious family not necessarily mean they don't believe in God. We should also be very careful when we understand this term. They also mean pious, but their pious is not anything to do with God or Atma, Paramatma or Atma. It is simply to do with body. This body, everything to do with the body. How to maintain this body well, how to polish this body well, how to nicely decorate this body and my belongings, my extended family, my etc. etc. That is the people in Rajoguna. So you'll be given an opportunity to further get into that particular family. Ajnanam gets birth further and further into the lower species, pramada moham, because of that reason. That's text number 17. 18. What happens then? After then, what happens? Urdhvam gacchanti sattvastva madhye tistanti rajasaha jagnya gunavrittista Ato gachanti samasaha. Want to read?
Those situated in the mode of goodness gradually go upward to the higher planets. Those in the mode of passion live on this earthly planet, and those in the abdominal mode of ignorance go down to the hellish world.
This is the parampara, means it's not a one. What Krishna is trying to tell this one, it's not. He's not repeating again the same thing. The sequence is that what Krishna should tell is it doesn't end by one or two births. It goes on like that for many, and he progresses and progresses. Whereas the other category stays there. No progress, just stays there. Another one degrades. Goes. That's a cycle it goes through. That person, the Atma, goes through. This person, respective person who's in certain mode of God, goes through. Urdhva gachanti. Urdhva means, like this is called Urdhva Pundram. When you put the tilak on the top, it's called Urdhva Pundram. So like that, Urdhva means towards up. Urdhva gachanti. Higher planets, one spiritually progress internally. When the prarabdha karma suffering is finished, as there will be no good karma, what happens? A person further born into a good family. As he is born into a good family, that means he is getting more. Because of the good karma, he is born into a good family. Because he is born multiple times, he is born into a good family. Now he knows that he has to perform activity, but not those activities which is going to give him a reaction. As a good reaction. So he is working in such a way in a good family, a progress person in the good family, that I am not the doer. I am not expecting anything in return. Nothing belongs to me. But he performs an action. Yes? Therefore, what happens when he goes into another family? He doesn't have any more good karma. He is not accumulating any good karma. But one karma is left out, which is papa. He worked towards not accumulating good karma. Therefore, he is progressing into the good family. Make sense? Just be with me. A person in a mode of goodness dies. He goes into birth of next family. The family in such an environment provides this Atma, this baby, this child, good religious teachings or an environment, very nice spiritual environment. And with that one, he goes to another family. More and more he involves spiritually. When he more and more involves spiritually after many birth into a good family, now he knows, I am doing all this thing not for my satisfaction, for God's satisfaction. Therefore, I am doing an action, I am doing puja, I am doing this one and that one, this one, whatever it may be. I am not expecting anything in return. But because I have taken the body due to of my karma, I have to do some action. Let me do an action, but not expecting anything in return. Because why? I did not do in first place. I am not the doer. There are many factors involved for an action to be performed. Therefore, I am not the doer. Since I am not the doer, I am not also a owner of this act. Therefore, that's how he progresses. Therefore, he is not accumulating good karma. But one point is important. Then why is he taking more birth? He still have, it didn't work out his papa karma. Therefore, that is not gone yet. Not gone yet. That will take many lifetime for all the papa karma to drain out. That has to be drained. Where this person consciously working not to accumulate good karma, obviously is not going to papa also. So only left out things are the papa karma, which has to be drained. Therefore this person, urdhva gachanti, he progresses further. And when he progresses, finally what happens is that he might be either a atma prapti, a person who is interested in self-realization, or he may bhagavat prapti, or he wants to be with God. It depends on how he wants to progress. Finally, what stage he wants. One may be very, just moksha. He's not into God's business. He wants to be aloof, atma prapti. That's called atma prapti. Another one is, he wants to be with God. That depends on the person who, whatever they desire to, in this process of mode of goodness. Madhya tishtanti, stays in this world and further entangles in enjoying and suffering. He further, because this person is very much influenced by the mode of passion. Because of the mode of passion, he is always hankering towards these two things. Suffering, want to get rid of the suffering, want to enjoy more. That's his program. Is always he want to get rid of all the sufferings and wanting to enjoy more. That's his whole theory. And he works towards that. What makes him to do is finally stay here. Forever he will be staying here in this world. Forever. Goes on many lifetime and degrades further into that this. Ado gachanti tamasaha, ado gachanti samasaha. Very sadly it is said, he goes further down, further and further down. How? He must be given a human body of, in the Bhagavad Gita 4th chapter we saw where Chaturvarnya Maya Srishtam Guna Karma Vibhahasaha. Krishna said that the 4 classes of people, Brahmana, Kshatriya, Vaishya, Sudra, I created this 4th class of, is 4, but there are also other which is not even mentioned. There are many grades, different things which is lower than this. One of the things is called Chandala, right? Another was called dog eaters in English, if you want to say dog eaters. Something with lower birth, not lower birth, in the human birth, lower mentality, consciousness. They go lower and lower and lower. Malichas, in Bhagavad Malichas, there are certain category of Malichas they are called. Anyway, so they go further lower and lower and lower. Chandala, from Chandala to animal, animal to birds, birds to insects, insects like worms, and then to plant, and like that it just degrades further and further and further. It is also said in the Shastra that a person who makes offenses through vachaha, by verbally is offending someone, he will be taken birth as an animal or a pakshi. If you are offending someone by words, then he will be given as a birth next time to be an animal or pakshi. Or if you are offending someone through a mind, he will be given as a lower human body. And if you are offending someone through a body, through a body, physically or harming or doing something to someone, that person will be given a body like a plant or a wood or a stone or something useless totally. So there is an opportunity. So what is the guarantee for us then? So we all know that we are going to be falling into these 3 modes. So it's going to be quite challenging, right? Therefore some points taken is there is an opportunity for men, of course for women also, in the modes of ignorance or passion to be elevated to the mode of goodness, and that system is called Krishna consciousness. But one who does not take advantage of this opportunity will certainly continue in the lower modes. So therefore one has to try to, as much as possible, cultivate good qualities by trying to be in the mode of goodness. And those things really happens specifically by we voluntarily getting involved and taking up certain things. We may not like to do certain things, but we still do it because we know. How many of us Monday morning wanting to go to office? Happily with smiling face. Especially after you are coming back after say 2 weeks of 2017. Last 1 week, no work. Everything is slow. Right? And then you have to go to work on 2nd. Very energetic, right? I wish I would have another 1 more day. Right? That's how the thing usually people try. But we have to do forcefully certain things because we know if you don't go to work, you're not going to get paid. No bill can be paid. No food, nothing, no shelter, nothing is going to happen. Family is not taken care. I am forced to do work. I am forced to do certain things. Why? Even though I don't like to, because I know it's going to give me some happiness. Likewise, even though we may like or we may not like, when it comes to things like this, spirituality, we have to force ourselves to do it. Right? We have to force ourselves to do it because what? This is what is going to give us an ultimate happiness. Right? The rest of the thing is not going to give that happiness. That's been told over here. That's the 19th sloka. He sees things separate from gunas. That sentence is not correct. This person sees things separate himself. He separates himself and with the gunas. He separates totally. That's the theme of this particular sloka. Nanyam gunebhya kartaram yada drashtanu pashyati gunebhyascha param vitti madbhavam so adhigacchati.
When one properly sees that in all activities no other performer is at work than these modes of nature, and he knows the Supreme Lord who is transcendental to all these modes, he attains my spiritual nature.
Now anyam, Gunebhya kartaram. No one else is doing. Guna is the doer. Guna, these three modes, or the kartaram, means karta means doer. Doer. Yata drishta, the person drishta means one who sees, seer, one who sees. One you can see is Gunebhyacha param vitti mad bhavams, who can understand this one. I am being done, the gunas was being doing, I am not doing things, and he attains my nature. Mad bhavam, so adhigachati, who attains my nature. He becomes me, or he becomes like me, is what this sloka says. Drishta means to see. Drishta. When the drishta is see, or drishta means cannot see, or with that which cannot be seen. When the jiva sees that the action is being performed only by gunas, and understands the soul is separate from this, he attains freedom from samsara. How is that? I am not the doer. The three modes are the doer. By understanding this one, this person will be free of samsara. Free of samsara mad bhavam adhigachati. He attains my nature. He becomes like me. Like me. Who's speaking this? Krishna is speaking. The Supreme Lord is speaking. He becomes like me. So that means what? Double action. In movies we have two actions, right? Triple action, three action. When a person like replica of another person, like that. Is a double action. There will be multiple Krishnas. A person who understands the difference between Atma and the body and the Atma. Ahara. So before we get into the last line, which is more of discussion, let's understand few things. What influences us to be in certain mode is really matters what goes into us. What goes into us will influence our behavior. So therefore it is in the third chapter of Bhagavad Gita we saw in the 13th sloka, Yajna Sastana Santho Muchante Sarva Gilbishaha. He says, Krishna says, whatever one eats, that food which is not offered to me, God, and that a person who is eating is simply a papam. Papam. Block. What are we eating which is not given to God is simply papa. Therefore it's very important. We already have enough, right? Anyone is lacking of that? Everyone has enough of papa. And on top of it we are eating food which is also going to increase our papam. Therefore Krishna says, eat food that is sattvic food. And that food, sattvic food, not simply meaning being vegetarian. Right? Even monkeys are vegetarian, elephants are vegetarian, many animals are there which are vegetarian. Right? Being vegetarian is not enough. But the food that need to be offered to God and then taken, that becomes a real prasad, and that is a real sattvic food. And when we eat certain food, will make you feel uneasy. We are going to cover this in the 17th chapter in more detail, but this is just a preview of how our body gets influenced by the three modes. What we are eating will also influence our modes, aggravates that. Already it's an aggravated thing, and we add something spicy food or very something which is going to make you lazy, things like that. Those are the things which is influence. Therefore, it's important. Ahara Suddhi is very important. What type of food we eat is quite very important. How we sit and eat is very important. Where we eat is important. With whom we are sitting and eating is very important. In what consciousness we are eating is important. Everything matters because every single thing is influencing my decision in my life. What I am going to decide, what I am going to do, everything influences me. Therefore, Ahara Suddhi, how we cook is also important. Right? So the devotees of the Lord, we finish this one. Now, that's one thing. Ahara Suddhi is important, and also the karmana, the action that one performs should also be an offering. Everything is to be done in a proper consciousness. This is an offering to God. And we covered the first one we saw in the 3rd chapter, and the second one we saw in the 5th chapter. That is Bhaktaram Yeki Tapasam Sarvaloka Mahesham Surdam Sarva Bhutanam Nyatvam Santi Mrichati, where everything has to be an offering to God. Anything that for that matter, and that person will be happy. He doesn't see himself as a doer, guna as a doer. Now the question is, again, please answer me this question if you remember, if you can recollect, who is the doer? Now Krishna, the person will become Brahman, or like God, which is a very high state. A person who understands that the three gunas are the doer, not me. So who's the doer here? We should know from the 13th chapter onwards we covering this one. So who's the doer? The three modes is put are the doers, or am I the doer? Huh? Please, that's okay. Go ahead. Huh? Huh? The three, because that's what Krishna says. Three gunas are the doers. That's the correct answer. Three gunas are the doers. But then, if the three gunas are going to do things by itself, someone has to activate it. Someone has to activate it, right? Someone has to activate, and therefore three gunas come into the picture. What basis? And I activate a certain guna. Next question. There are three gunas. Krishna says in the sloka, the three gunas are the doers. Okay, let them do, because three gunas, sometime this, sometime that, sometime that. Therefore, I am being influenced to do certain. The body is doing certain action in mode of goodness. Body is doing action certain mode of passion and ignorance. But Atma is the one who is activating the three gunas into the mode of goodness, into the mode of passion, into the mode of ignorance. Second question is, why this Atma influencing certain gunas or activating certain gunas? Karmanugunam, karma vasana, right? Because of my karma and because of my vasana, I like to be in mode of passion. Therefore, I trigger mode of passion. Now the mode of passion takes over and pushes me further into mode of passion. Right? For in reality, Atma is a doer, but physically he does not get engaged. He activates and actually makes a body which is of the three gunas to do it. Clear? Is it clear? Yes? Okay. Not getting a complete. Yes. Action is done by gunas, not by Atma. Now, we're coming to the more philosophical discussions here. Madbhavam adhigacchati. Madbhavam adhigacchati. Madbhavam adhigacchati means this is where the differences comes. How we see this one. Sometimes people take this particular line and say, therefore you see Krishna says, one who is free from three modes. One who understands he is not the doer. The gunas are the three gunas are the doers. When he understands this one, he becomes me. He becomes God. One can literally change this particular line into saying that everyone can become God if they understand this particular sloka. And especially what the sloka says, three gunas are the doer, I am not the doer. Just keep telling, from today onwards, let's not chant Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna. Let's do the three gunas are the doer, I am not the doer. Three gunas are the doer, I am not the doer. Three gunas are the doer, and I am not. Now I become what? God. Is that possible? That's not possible. Just by I want to drink, for past half an hour I've been wanting to lift this water bottle to drink water, really. But I know that I want to drink this water. I want to drink the water. I want to drink water. I want to drink water. I want to drink water. What's the use? Hey, take it and lift it and open it. Now drink it. Unless until you get into the action, no use. And likewise, just having an understanding is not going to help a person to achieve the higher stage. He has to do something. That something is coming up. This again, it's an introduction to what's coming up later. So when one attains that knowledge, gets my nature. In nature, the Atma is pure. In reality, Atma are pure. Atma is pure. There's no question about it. Has no connection to any of the things that happening through this body. Everything is happening through the body, and Atma and body has literally no connection. Literally speaking, no connection. But we feel it's connected, right? Therefore, when we feel there's a connection between the body and Atma, that is when the happenings through the body affects us. That's when we are feeling that happiness, distress, lamentation, frustration, depressions, and etc. All the things is because we are connected to the body. We feel that we are this body. Therefore, I am influenced by the three modes. Based on the karma, the three modes takes preferences and try to influence the control of the Atma, and the Atma under the control of the three modes does action. This is the way it works. Based on my karma, this just now we covered this one. Based on my karma, whatever the karma, now these three modes influences us, and also I have a desire on my vasanas. This is all interlinked. You have to just map everything together. I have a lot of karma, certain karmas, and the karma is going to be effective, and the karma can only be effective on me if I have a body. I'm having body means the body is influenced by the three modes, sattva, rajas and tamas, and therefore there is going to be liking and disliking because of the three things. Lamentation, frustration, happiness, distress, etc. is all given by the three modes, and the vasana that I've been carrying will push me into certain mode and activate that mode, and that mode is going to influence me. I get into depression, I get into angry mode, I don't like someone, all those things happens to me. This person get into those things. One should fully understand this, and that the three modes makes a person. It's like, have you seen the puppet show? Have you seen puppet shows? Never seen a puppet show? No? They have in places they have a small stage setup. It's a small version of the bigger stage, and then someone will be behind the scene, and they have this thread in their hand. The puppets will be there. The small dolls will be there, like a king, like a queen, and all those ministers. They try to do a puppet show using their fingers. They try to lift the hands of the king and make him sit. You can imagine what I'm trying to say, right? A puppet show. It's called puppet show, right? Like that, the three modes over here. You can see the three modes, sattva, rajas and tamas. We are all puppets in the hands of these three gunas, right? They make us dance and dance like this, and like this, and like this. We've been completely bound by the three modes every given second, like this. That's what is going through us in our life. Don't be worried about, so we are puppets, so there's no solution. We have to be like a toy in the hands of the three modes. So why are we talking all those things? But Krishna is going to give us an answer. Right? We can get out of these three modes. We don't need to be puppets. We can be being proper individual being, can be freed from the three modes. But before we get into the sections and answers, some of the things we have to understand again at Madbhavam, so adhigacchati. Where it says, when Krishna says Madbhavam, so adhigacchati, not that we are all going to become merged with God or one with God, or we going to become God. That's not what Krishna is trying to say here. He's not propagating merging concept or becoming God concept. That's not what it's been. Madbhavam, so adhigacchati. There are many quotations have been taken from the Upanishads, Chandogya Upanishad, Katha Upanishad, Brihadaranyaka Upanishad, where it has a similar quotation. But the meaning is that he gets a nature like God, not necessarily mean he becomes God. Not necessarily means he becomes one and mixes with God. Madbhavam adhigacchati means. So, for example, the water which is mixed into another one gets the nature of the particular water. That's how the Katha Upanishad says. When this water bottle is added to another a big pot of water, the water gets the nature of that water. It's just an analogy has been given here. Right? That can be also a lot of questions that can be asked in that particular analogy also. Brahma with apnoti param Brahma eva bhavati. In Chandogya Upanishad says Brahma eva bhavati. He becomes Brahman. The Atma becomes Brahman. Direct quotation. So there you see, there's an answer. Everyone becomes Brahman, but you have to catch an important point here. Brahma bhavati. It's not Brahma bhavati. It says Brahma eva bhavati, which means that eva shabdam is very important, which means it doesn't become Brahma bhavati, it becomes like Brahman. Means it attains certain qualities of God. Therefore, is called as Brahman. And another place also. What it means is he is going to cultivate the qualities of God, like no birth, no death, no disease, and then no hankering for thirst and hunger and old age, and then satya sankalpaha, mean he can just satisfy whatever he desires. All those things are qualities of God, of many qualities. He receives certain qualities of those. Therefore, madbhavam adhigacchati. Therefore, madbhavam adhigacchati, not that he becomes God. Okay, that's text number 9. With that one, and then further Krishna explains what is that madbhavam. And this is the last section, sloka of this particular entire section. And then Arjuna is going to ask another question. Gunan etan atityatrin dehe dega samudbhavan janma mrityu jara dukkair mikto amritam masnute.
When the embodied being is able to transcend these three modes associated with the material body, he can become free from birth, death, old age, and their distress, and can enjoy nectar even in this life.
So what we just spoke, Arjuna had a similar question. What is it meant by mad bhavam? Mad bhava. Mad means mad, mama, mad, my nature, bhava, nature. What do you mean, Krishna? What do you mean by mad bhavam? Can you elaborate on that one? Well, this is what it is. Janma mrityu jara dukkhe vimukto amrita asnute. Mad bhava means janma, mrityu, jara, vyadi, dukkhe, all those different things. One will be completely free. Am I not free of those things? Krishna's question. I am free. I don't take birth. I don't become old. I don't suffer. I don't get affected of any of these things. That's me. And this Atma, who understands the three modes, are the doer. They are not the doer. And who has cultivated the mode of goodness and crosses beyond the mode of goodness will attain Madbhavam. This is what the Madbhavam is. They will also not take birth. They will not be born again. They will not have to die because they will not have to be taken birth, and they will not suffer. There is no obviously old age because they will not going to be born. And that's a Madbhavam. It's been told here. The three gunas, which is part of Prakriti, taken the form of as a body. The gunas are primarily influenced by one's food, and accordingly the action is being executed. The three gunas based on karma and vasana also influence the person to engage in certain action based on a particular guna. I'm just going through fast because we covered this. Yes? Yes. Yes? Is everyone hungry? Yes? Yes. Little better. One who understands this is a seer, and he is free from birth, death, old age and distresses, which is called Madbhavam. Madbhavam is answered over here. Right? Any questions so far? Because we are entering into the next section where Arjuna wants to know more about it. He always wants to know more about it. Right? For us, we might be thinking, this is enough for me. But Arjuna is not like that. How many times he is repeating the same thing? Did anyone feel like that? Yes? Yeah, we might. Why is he repeating the same topic again? Question is how much we realize it. We have to keep repeating certain things again and again, so it goes and stays inside. Certain things, topics, we have to repeat again and again. So it's just like you write on a rock. It stays within ourselves. Therefore, repetition is quite important at certain times. Okay, now any questions before we move to the next session? Now Arjuna's question is, what about me? What about me? Am I in mode of ignorance? Am I in mode of passion? Am I in mode of goodness? Or I'm transcended everything? What about me? How do I understand that? Therefore, could you please tell me an example of a person whom I can understand, who has transcended these three modes? So far we spoke about the person in mode of ignorance, yes? Lobha. A person is more on nidram, pramadam, means a person who is careless, a person is sleepy, a person who is lazy, mode of ignorance, I know that one. A person is workaholic, wanting, greedy person, mode of passion, I know that one. A person who is prakasa, refulgent in accumulating knowledge and being happy with that one, mode of goodness. Now you spoke about you have to transcend these things, right, Krishna? Yes, I did. That means you have to be beyond all these things. Yes, I did say that one. How does that?
The person you are speaking with has put your call on hold. Please stay on the line.
That's Arjuna asking a question.
So therefore, Arjuna's thing is, how can I identify a person? How can I identify that such a person? How does he? Remember, he asked a similar question. He asks a similar question in the second chapter. Sthita Prajna. How does he walk? How does he sit? How does he do action? Etc. etc. Similar thing. He is saying, a person who has transcended the three modes, what is this? What are the symptoms? What are these internal symptoms? How can I identify this person? So therefore begins the 21st sloka. And this is the last part of this chapter 14. And Krishna takes after this over on from 22nd to 27th sloka. Arjuna vacha Kairlinge strin gunan yethan Atito bhavati prabho Kim acharah katam chaityam Trin gunan ativartate.
Arjuna inquired, O my dear Lord, by which symptoms is one known who is transcendental to these three modes? What is his behavior? How does he transcend the modes of nature?
Oh Prabhu, Prabhu means my dear Lord, my dear Master. Right? Krishna, Arjuna is asking him, calling him as Prabhu, means Master. Why one asks, on what basis one is called as Prabhu, Master? When he can be a master, in corporate world they call a term called SMEs. You know SMEs? Subject matter expert. Prabhu. That person is called Prabhu. Subject matter expert. Prabhu. Right? Prabhu who knows things, who knows everything. Who knows everything and who can answer all the questions. And excuse me. And who is actually the cause of all the three modes, and who is actually cause of putting the three modes in the Prakriti and then putting the Atma into the three modes. So he is a Prabhu. Obviously he knows everything. Therefore Arjuna knows where to get the answer from. So he is addressing Krishna as, oh Prabhu, please answer me this one. What's your question, Arjuna? He is telling Kim Kairlinges Kim Acharaha. Three questions has been asked here. In this particular sloka, three questions have been asked. Kairlinges means what are the symptoms? Again, Kim Acharaha, what are the symptoms? Train Gunan Ativartate, how does he get to that position? How did he transcend? How does he transcend? Which is all want to know, right? Now we've been talking too much about the three gunas. How did he transcend? That's only one sloka Krishna answered. This entire, that's 26 sloka is coming up. Now, Kairlinges means what are his internal symptoms? What are his internal symptoms? Kim Acharaha means what are his external symptoms by which we can understand this person is a transcended person. Why Arjuna is asking these two questions? Because he has to ask these two questions because how this transcended person internally he is. Internally, if I am something internally, will you understand what I am? That's my internal things. The way that I think, the way I make decisions, those are all internal things. No one will have any clue about what I am internally. That's the case with everyone. Right? That's why Arjuna is asking, what are his internal symptoms? Now that he can go and find out, but he wants to know, so he can cultivate these qualities, symptoms, qualities. And another thing is, what are those symptoms that is external that I can see by his behaviors, by his way of doing things? What are the external symptoms of this transcended person? And more than all these things, how did he transcend it? How he transcended? That's his question over here. And especially sometimes it's very important. Another reason Arjuna is asking this is we have to know such people. Otherwise, everything will be in only theory. We don't have anyone an example of a model, ideal person where we can see, oh, this is a person who exactly matches Bhagavad Gita. If no one is there, we will not have any encouragement, anything that we will have anything to do with it, right? Therefore, Arjuna wanting to bring that person out under the shining light. So this is that person. Sometimes it is important that we bring such people out. Those people themselves doesn't want to be under the limelight. Such people, they don't want to be glorified. Third person doesn't want to be in limelight. But at times, these people has to be brought to light so that the society can see, there's an example. A person leads a life like that. He is exactly what Krishna is speaking, transcendent person. So we can follow this person in his footsteps. So Arjuna asked this question. Kairlinge trin gunan etan atito bhavati prabhu kim achara katam chaitams trin gunan ativartate. Now Krishna is going to answer these questions. 22, 23, 24, 25. 2, 3, 4, 5. 4 slokas. Correct? 4 slokas. He's going to take 4 slokas and answer these 3 questions. What are his internal symptoms? What are his external symptoms? And then on the 26th sloka, Krishna is going to answer the last question, that is, how he transcended. And 27, Sampurnam finishes with a conclusion statement. Let's get into 22nd. Sri Bhagavan Uvacha Prakasam cha pravrittim cha Moham eva cha Pandava Na dveshti sampravrittani Na nivrittani kankshati.
The Supreme Personality of Godhead said, one who is beyond the grass is not lying at the appearance of illumination, sattva, activity, righteous, or confusion, power. More rejoice of his appearance.
So, your 3 things has been mentioned. This sloka divided 2 parts. The first two padas and second last 2 that is prakasam, pravartim, moham. Nothing new, correct? Yes? Prakasam is the symptom of or identification of everyone. Prakasam. Sattva guna. Prakasam. Effulgent. Illuminating because of the knowledge. Prakasam. Pravartim. Endeavor. Of which one? Rajoguna, passion. And then moham, illusion, confusion, delusion, not trying to understand things correctly. That is mode of ignorance. The 3 things. Krishna is telling these 3 things is so very important. This is so very important, which makes a person's happiness and distress, accident distress, which leads to a person with dvesham, hatred, or liking or hatred. That's what is being told over here. So one can cultivate a knowledge and do an action based on the cultivation of knowledge, and also one can be completely out of moham, of not wrongly making a decision. So these 3 things, the combination, very important. These 3 things are the combination that we are going to discuss, spend some time on this one. But before, let's go through the meaning of this first. Na dveshi sampravrittani nivartani. Sampravartani means that which comes. Nivartani, we can say that which goes away. Which means doesn't get frustrated on those things comes to him. When do we get frustrated when something comes to us? Those things which we don't want to come to us, it comes to us, we get frustrated. We don't like to have those things. It comes to us. Then therefore we get, I'm getting frustrated. You don't want someone to come to your house. That's a good example. Right? And that person comes. You get frustrated about that person. Right? That person. Na dveshi sampravarti. Na nivrittani kankshati. Doesn't expect anything on those things that goes away. That something goes away from you. And this person doesn't need to kankshati, doesn't lament or think about it. He is free about it. Right? Those are the 2 very important things. At the same time, we have to also understand that the knowledge, activities mentioned here recommended on the spiritual thing, but not for the material thing. Means we have to cultivate knowledge, we have to work towards that, we have to understand the moham. Moham means what is the true one, what is untrue. What is the real one? What is unreal? These things are important on the spiritual platform, but not on the material thing. This is where we are going to spend some time here. Anishtam, unishtam. Ishtam means those things which is liked, favorable. Anishtam means disliked, unfavorable things. Right? We are always into those 2 things, liking unliking. Every moment, that's how we function in a daily basis. Yes? Everything we based on anishtam, ishtam. I like it, I don't like it. That's how our program goes. That's how the whole day goes. The entire life goes on these two factors. Now, when one gets knowledge, does action and bewilders on those things that one likes, it is anishtam, because one may not get what one wanted. Let's understand the statement again. When one gets knowledge, a person gets the knowledge and that's an action on whatever the knowledge the person gained knowledge. Bewilders on those things that one likes, but he is not very sure about the things. He is just confused of the end result. It is called anishtam, because one may not get what one wanted. Now we'll cover this again. When one gets knowledge, does action and bewilders on those things that one doesn't like, it is anishtam. Categorizing unfavorable, unfavorable. Unfavorable. I have a knowledge of something. And I have to take some action. I'm taking an action. Now, one may not get what one wanted. By doing that one, this person may not get that he wanted. Therefore, that is called anishtam. He has accumulated knowledge of something, and then he works towards that one, and the thing that is getting out of it, not that he really wanted, something else comes. Therefore, the whole thing is called anishtam. Yes? Now, a person has a knowledge and he works to do something, and because one may get that one doesn't want. There's a ulta of what this been discussed. One thing is he gets something which he doesn't want is coming to him, is called anishtam, and that thing which goes away from him, which he wants it, is also called unfavorable thing. That's how the different way of putting the same thing. Very simple. I am wanting something. I acquire a knowledge of acquiring something. Therefore, I work towards that one. But the end result is I am not getting that one. Therefore, anishtam. I am cultivating knowledge, working towards something. Now, I am getting something which I don't want. Or I am not getting something which I want. It's all called anishtam, unfavorable thing. As simple as that. Exactly the opposite is ishtam. I am working towards something, and I am having a knowledge and working towards something. I get something out of it. Ishtam. And I am working towards something with a knowledge of not wanting something which is going to make us miserable, and I am not getting that one. That is also ishtam. Make sense? I am being very careful. I want to avoid going to that place because there's a pit over there. I cultivated a knowledge. Now I am not going there. I avoided those things. Ishtam. I cultivated a knowledge. Now in the moha, I am going there. Now in an illusion, I know that there is a pit over there. I should not be walking, but I am walking towards it because of moha, illusion. I fall over there. Anishtam. That's how the combination, these things happen. Now, another example can be taken is, I have a pain in my body. So I have a knowledge, the knowledge tells you have pain over here in your hand. That's the knowledge tells us, that means a mode of goodness. It tells us, you have a pain over here. Okay, you have pain. I have a pain. I have a pain. Now what am I going to do? Take a medicine. Taking a medicine is going to cure this whole thing. Ishtam. That's called ishtam. That's called ishtam. Now also the situation are there where you have a pain and you're given anesthesia. That is an action is being provided. You are put into a moha state. This is also ishtam. So the combination of pravritti, prakasam, moham can influence a person in the different combination, can influence a person either to be in a ishta or anishta. That's what the sloka simply says. That's what the sloka is saying over here. Okay, let's move on to the next one. Now, what about the transcended person? And simply in the fourth thing, do not lament for the loss of those things which are favorable. Do not lament for getting those things which are unfavorable. If a favorable thing lost, it doesn't worry. An unfavorable thing, again, is not worried about it, also lament. Do not rejoice for the loss of those things which are unfavorable. Do not rejoice for getting those things which are favorable. Again, it's a permutation of combination of how a person is joyful, how a person is lamenting. And this person is neither way, whether it's a favorable or unfavorable, whether the favorable thing comes to him, unfavorable thing goes away. It doesn't matter for him. Because he's transcended position. He's a transcended person. Text sloka number 23. How is it even possible to be that? Because we are constantly influenced by the three modes every given second. How is it even possible to be like that? That's Arjuna's question. Udasinavat asino guneryo na vichalyate guna vartanta iti evam yovastitati ningate.
One who remains situated neutrally, who remains undisturbed, understanding that only the gunas are acting and does not act according to the effects of the gunas, is said to have surpassed the gunas.
So, udasinavat asino. Udasinavat asino. Say, for example, someone came and blasphemed you. It just spoke so badly. He speaks so badly to you, about you. So, for example, someone is telling him bad to me about how bad I am, nasty person I am, my things are wrong, everything is wrong. It just goes on. Now I feel like not happy. Someone is coming and telling anything bad about you, you feel very unhappy and miserable, and you want to take a revenge of this person who said this one, right? So you go back to this person with sharp tongue, razor tongue, and for 30 minutes you just fire this person. Talk so much about this person. Another one of the person walks by and says, what are you doing to him? And I said, well, I'm angry, don't ask me anything. But why are you doing to him? Because he told me bad thing about me. Therefore I am very upset with him. That's why I'm shouting at him. The other person who was listening, he said, do you know he's mentally having a problem? Disabled person. What happens to me at that point of time? 30 minutes I shouted to this person. Right? Now this person is coming telling he's mentally not stable person. That's how he talks to everyone. That was my first experience with this person. So I thought he's really angry with me and telling all this thing. Now what will be my mood at that point of time after I'm hearing he is mentally disabled person? He immediately returned back. Don't even think about continuing the discussion. Yes? It's waste of time for me. Even how much ever I tell this person is not going to understand, no use. Goes back. What happened? Just few seconds back you were so much, angry. Suddenly you change, become passive. Udasinavat asino. Same thing. If someone comes and tells you, hey, your face looks like a dog. You walk like a duck. Only thing is missing tail. Otherwise you are not a human. Just imagine someone is glorifying you like this. Not glory. Someone is coming and telling you like this. How do you feel, Varun? Blissful. Very happy. And you're going to give him a treat? Udasinavat asino. The person who transcended is telling, what are you talking? Whom are you talking all this thing to first? First question is, whom are you talking to? I'm talking to you. You're not talking to me. You're talking to my body. Everything that you're telling is about my body. That's not me. I'm not a dog. I'm not dark. I'm not short. I'm not fair. I'm not Indian. I'm not American. I am not anyone. Whomever you're talking about. I'm Atma. Udasina vatasino. Like that, this person takes it so light and so easy. Finally, who's getting to the problem? Just imagine. This frustrates sometimes, especially you can experience this in a family life, as a wife is coming and shouting at husband, and the husband udasina vatasina. Wife goes left and right, and it could be husband also, don't mistake me, I'm in a body of a men, so I'm talking like this. So wife goes on and on and on and on. Husband 14.23 14.23. I am not this body. I am not this body. I am not this body. It is going to aggravate the situation more, right? But this is what it is. So what happens is, Udasinavata is completely free of any pressure, any tension. Everything is going to that particular person. He is going to be into the problem. That's how it is, usually. So, Pakshi life. So, one who remains neutral and one who is free from attachment and hatred. One can only be in neutral position, not affected by these things, only if that person is not attached or doesn't have hatred to anyone. If a person is attached and if person have an hatred nature, obviously what's going to happen? He cannot be neutral. He has to respond to that situation. So who can be neutral? The person who is not attached or favorable and unfavorable. A person who is not attached to that hatred to favorable and unfavorable from the previous slokas, only that person can be neutral. Only that person can be neutral. The last part of this one, gunavartanta iti evam yo avatistanti ningate. The three modes does what it wants to do. Gunavartanti. This person understands the three mode is doing its job. Let her shout however she wants to shout. It's in other words like that. This is how this person thinks. She is shouting, he is shouting, let him do. Like that, this body is trying to influence me, let him try to do. Guna vartanti. Is doing its job. The gunas are doing its job. How does it matter to me? Therefore, he remains avittistanti, remains silent. And therefore, he doesn't get engaged in such acts pulled by the three modes. When he says he is being silent, meaning that he doesn't get into action. You get into action, that's when problem comes more, yes? Just stay quiet for some time. Things will be normal. When you try to respond to the situation immediately, things get aggravated. In a conversation, in anything that for that matter. Just think for a minute before you react to the situation. You'll get a better solution for it. You react to the situation, things get aggravated. Therefore, it's always better to settle for a few minutes for ourselves before we make anything on that matter. Vistanti. Okay. Now, over here, how does he become neutral and silent? How does he become neutral and silent? Right? He has transcended and seen the self, so least he is bothered about the impacts of the three gunas. When three gunas tries to influence one's emotions through liking and disliking, lamentation, happiness, he, the Atma, doesn't engage, stays neutral, since he found higher purpose of his existence. Say, for example, if you're walking over here on the street, you're alone, and you're walking on the street, you find $100 note lying down. $100 note lying down. Now, what do you do with that? Take it. No one is there. You take it. But when you're going to take at that point of time, I'm coming to you. I'm telling, hello, hi. I didn't see the $100 there, but you're going to take it. I'm going to give you some gift. $10,000. $10,000 to you. Now, would you be interested on the $10,000 which you're going to get, or the $100 which is going to fly away in any minute with the windy thing? Which one you would be interested about in? 10,000. Maybe you collect 10,000, run behind $100 and make it $10,000. That's another option. But your interest will be to get 10,000 because it's much greater, higher compared to the $100. This transcended person is transcended, meaning he got the $10,000. He is not interested in the $100 anymore. He is not interested in the $100 anymore because he got the higher value. Because he transcended, therefore he thinks anger, liking, disliking, hatred, $10 related to my body. But I am not this body. And the three modes are influencing me and making me to do more karma. Then let me be watchful. Let me be careful here. Let me not accumulate any more karma. It's a trick of the three gunas because of my vasanas and the karmas. So this person thinks, let me go with the $10,000. Therefore, whenever everyone is coming in trying to offer 10 rupees, $10, $100, he says, no thanks. The three gunas will come and tell you, hey, see, this is very good. You want this one? By doing this one, you will become very, very, very famous person. Or you can earn a lot of money, etc., etc. He said, no thanks. I am transcended. This person is transcended. So that's about the third sloka. Moving on to the 24th and 25th sloka. Should be easy one. Samadukka sukha swastaha Samalostasma kanchanaha Tulya priya priyo dhira Tulya nindhatma samstutihi Amana apamanayos tulya Tulyo mitrari pakshayoha Sarvaramba parityagi Gunaditi sat uchate. Someone can read the translation. Who wants to do? Maybe. Go ahead. Oh, here. You have to read the translation from here. Yeah. Who wants? Yeah, please.
He who is firmly situated, who is equal in sorrow and joy, who sees a lump of earth, stone and gold as the same, who regards dear and not dear as the same, who regards criticism and praise as the same, who remains equal in respect or disrespect, who is equal to friend and foe, who has given up all understandings, is said to be beyond the gunas.
So, in this three questions Arjuna has, what are the internal symptoms? What are the external symptoms? What we are seeing now is all the internal things. And also, in the second part of the sloka is going to talk about the external things also. Sama, dukkha, sukhaha, swastaha. Who is equal in sorrow and joy. Equal in sorrow and joy. How can he be equal in sorrow and joy? What made you joyful recently? Watching a movie. What made you miserable recently? Huh? Going to school.
He's honest about it.
He's a very honest person. Being truthful is one of the qualities that's needed. What made you very joyful? You don't know.
I don't remember.
You don't remember. Udasina. Udasina. What asina? So, I bought a car recently. First class, i5, hybrid, fantastic car. Why everyone is sad here? You are all not seeming to be very happy about it.
Very happy.
You're not happy about it. But I am happy. I'm happy.
I'm happy to see you happy.
You're happy. But I am happy. You're not happy. Well, my child fell off and got hurt. No one is crying here. Come on. We know for a few years now. Please, someone please at least cry or say something. No. When my other person is happy, I am not happy. When other person is in distress, I am not in distress. Yes, that's a fact. Fact is that. That's the truth. That's the truth. This person, samam, dukkam, sukham. He feels the same thing. When my neighbor is happy, I am not feeling the happiness. When my neighbor is suffering, I am not feeling the suffering. I am completely detached. That is applicable to my neighbor. Whereas this person who is transcended, applying the same concept, theory to himself. The happiness is to my body, not to me. The distress is to my body, not to me, because I am not this body. Someone else is enjoying, someone else is suffering, I am not. Therefore, both are equal to me. I do not get excited or I do not get depressed at situation. This person thinks like that. How can he think like that? Swastaha. Swastaha means he is fixed, steady in completely understanding about who he is and what this body is made of. He has this putradi, janma, maranadi, sukha dukkayah, samachitta. Samachittam. Samachittam means his consciousness is samachittam, means is balanced. Whether I get a child, sometime you don't have a child for many, many years, and you get a child, very happy. And your beloved spouse passed away, very depressed. Very depressed. So this person is neither case. He knows everything in relation to this body alone, but not to my Atma. I am not affected. And what is trying to affect me through the relationship to the body is the three modes. Watch out. Watch out. I was just telling us this particular incident. I'm not sure if I told here, where this husband and wife would have went to Jerusalem. Went to Jerusalem, and they were. Did you hear this? No. Oh, that's good. So the husband and wife went to Jerusalem after their retirement program, and they were traveling different places. And in the course of the travel, when they're ready to depart to their place, and the wife passed away. Wife passed away, and the husband was feeling miserable, and their travel has to end like this. But the priest, the person who was in the Jerusalem, that person came and said, "What are you going to do? Don't worry about it. It happens to everyone. One day or the other, everyone has to die. Your wife died. The good thing is that about your wife passing away is she died in the holy place, Jerusalem. Now we have two options. Option one is you can take your wife's body to your country and do the final things, which will cost you $5,000, or you can do the burial here, the funeral thing here, only cost you $5,000 if you take to your country, $500 if you do it here. And plus, it's a holy place, it's good." The man thought for a minute and he said, "I'll pay $5,000. The priest was quite shocked to hear, "Why do you want to spend $5,000 when you can do it here in $500? "Well, I heard that several years back there was one man in Jerusalem who passed away, and they buried him, but he came back to life in 3 days. Therefore, I don't want to take a chance. Enough is enough." Samalostasma kanchanaha. Samalostana kanchanaha means where this person sees whether it's a earth or a stone or a gold, everything equal. If you put a garland in a very nice rose flowers, he becomes very happy. I take all the wood particle, broken wooden stones and all things, make something out of it and put it on him. And he says, "Thank you very much." That means Trigunan, he just transcended the Trigunas. And he says, like this, or when he sees a good garland there and he sees a old garland over here, why for him nice one, not for me? Then we can understand what mode he falls into and what is he expecting. Whether this person least bothered about those things, he sees everything equally. Then moving on, let's quick here. Tulya priya apriyo dhiras. Tulya priya apriyo dhiras. You praise this person. You praise this person. To regret, this is another one is coming up. Praise and ninda and samastuti is different. Tulya priya apriyo dhiras, who regards dears and not dear as same. Priya apriya, whether the person is dear to you or not dear to you, he just sees both of them equally. Again the same thing. Why? Same thing. Everything in relation to the body. Right? Doesn't have a list of favorable object or unfavorable things. I like these things. I don't like these things. There's nothing like that for him. Priya, apriya. Everything is samam for him. How he is doing this? Dhiram. Dhiras. Dhiras means very, very steady, firm in his understanding of the same. That is, he is in his body. He is a Atma. At any time, I have to be prepared to leave this body and go. Why is now having attachment to things? Why this person doesn't have a, I like this one, I don't like this one? On what basis? What will make a person to get detached from liking and disliking? On only one thing he can be very strong in that one. He can be dhira when he understands that any given point of time, I will go. I have to give away this and go. And what am I going to do at that point of time? And therefore some people think, anytime I am going to go, let me enjoy. If you say this one, these people will take another angle and say, you see, you only said in the class, anytime we are going to die, therefore let me make use of that life, let me enjoy as much as possible. I'm not going to come back here again. No, you'll come back again and you'll again enjoy and suffer. The only foolish people does not understand this one and try to enjoy as much as possible, drain and suck and extract as much as they can in this world. If one is not dhira, then rest of the topic will not be possible. There are these are so far what we covered are the internal symptoms. What we covered so far, internal symptoms. Tulya nindatma samstutihi. Because priya apriya, internally I think, he is my favorite, she is not. He is my favorite, he is not. I internally think. I may not explicitly tell that to those people whom I don't like. I'll be nice to them also, externally. But internally I don't like them. But here comes the external things, symptoms. How I can understand this person is transcendent person is this one. Tulya ninda atma samstutihi. Stuti. Stuti means glorifying. Ninda means to chastise, to blaspheme the person. Right? What this person is criticizing, blaspheming this person, no problem. You glorify this person, no problem for him, because he knows very well. Today this world is glorifying me, tomorrow the same people will criticize me. It happens. It will happen for sure. If you have been put on a high seat, same person will be put down, thrown down. Same newspapers, medias, everything will tell. He is so and so has done, all this, whatever things are. They'll put you. The same people will criticize you. So he knows not to get attached to praising or criticism. Both are the same thing for him. Doesn't matter for me. And it's all verbally happens. Mana apamanayo tulya. He remains equal in respect and disrespect. Manam apamana. Avamana or apamana. Whether respected or not respected, he sees the same way. However, he is. Tulya mitra ari pakshayoha. Mitra ari. Ari means enemies. Mitra means mitra, bandhu, sukrada. These are all different terms of friendship. Right? Mitra ari. Friends are enemy. For him, no one is. Others might see this person as an enemy or a friend. But for him, doesn't matter. He sees everyone equally. Who's equal to everyone. Dhira knows there is no friends and no enemies to Atma. To Atma. It's only in relation to body. Hence not affected and consider both friends and enemies equally. That does not mean to say one should not have, here's the point to make it more meaningful. Not to say one should not have friend, one can have friend. Not to say one should not have spouse, one can have spouse. Not to say one should not have children, one can have children, parents, etc. In relation to Atma, they should all be Atma Bandhus, not Sharira Bandhus. Even though we might have got this friendship and relationship through the Sharira, through the body, but we have to extend in such a way that this is all becoming my Atma Bandhus. If it is not Atma Bandhus, they are not going to stay for long. If it is Sharira Bandhu, everything is finished when the Shariram is done, is gone. That's what's been very important. Sarva Aramba Parityagi, Sarva Aramba Parityagi. All the endeavors and action is completely stopped. Not to mean to say that he doesn't do any work, rather takes action when one is insulted. He doesn't take action when one is insulted, or doesn't take action in such a way when one is rewarded. If you reward someone, you become so happy with that person and you want to reciprocate to that person by giving something or talking something to that person. Because he appreciated, he rewarded you, he gave you something. Therefore you want to give something to him. This person doesn't get into that program. Right? Whereas you have been criticized or you have been insulted, he doesn't take an action. This is different than the previous one. Here is the action. Sarva Aramba means it doesn't take an action. It's Parityagi. It just leaves out as it is. It doesn't get involved to any of these are the external symptoms. When one says one should not get into the giving things and taking things and appreciation, we also have to understand very clearly that this particular sloka, Upadeshamrita, it says how one has to establish relation to Atma Bandhus, devotees. That one has to give gift, one has to receive gift. One has to give prasadam to others, one has to accept the prasadam from others. One has to discuss confidential subject matter with others, and one can take the confidential subject matter with. These are 6 symptoms of relationship, where the relationship can grow much better. Then that will become an Atma, means the soul to soul connection, without any expectation. So these are some loving exchanges between the devotees. And 2 more slokas. And let's get that thing also over here. Mam cha yo abhya vicharine bhakti yogena sevate sagunan samatityaithan brahma bhuyaya kalpate. She said, so if I do all those things, I can do this one, Krishna. So I need to transcend myself by being udasina, by not getting affected by the ninda, stuti, priya, apriya, etc., etc. But I find I can try all those things, but seem to be quite challenging. We can go on for hours talking about this thing, but seem to be quite challenging. I will try consciously, but how am I going to do this one? Because my vasanas are so strong, my impressions carrying for many lives is so strong. I feel again and again and again and again and again being pulled into doing wrong things against what you are saying. What am I going to do, Krishna? Well, how to transcend? One of the questions that Arjuna asked, how to transcend? Besides the internal symptoms, external symptoms, how this person transcend? There is the answer. Answer is Mam chayo abhya vicharine bhakti yogena sevate. Sevate means service. Bhakti. Once by taking up the process of bhakti yoga, I become pleased. By taking up the process, please listen, this is the key of this entire chapter. By taking up the process of bhakti yoga, I become pleased. Who become pleased? Krishna become pleased. When I become pleased, then I will relieve you from this 3 modes that is bothering you so much. Right?
So it's not individual effort.
Individual effort is needed consciously. We can gradually go through this process or take help of Krishna and get it, with his help, get it done in a rapid manner. Faster. Right? Because Arjuna wants, every one of us wants quick result. When am I going to born into a good family and I have to cultivate good qualities I have to take many, many lifetime, and then finally transcend. When no guarantee. When is this going to happen, this whole program? Krishna, I'm thinking it's going to be very difficult. I'm fearful now after reading this chapter 14. I'm fearful now. Is there any hope for me to get out of this trigunas? Bhakti yogena sevate. To who? Mom. To me. To you. Is it sufficient? Mom, abhyavicharane. Abhyavicharane. He says this. Abhyavicharane. Yes, you can, by performing bhakti towards me, with proper consciousness, then I will help you. This is the exactly same thing Krishna touched on the 7th chapter of Bhagavad Gita over there in the 14th sloka. Daivihi isha gunamai mama maya dhuratyaya mamaevai prapatyante mayam etam tarantate. Where Krishna said there, this Maya, 3 modes, he touched over there. He said, it's so very difficult to get over. Very difficult to get over. Krishna said in the 7th chapter. But he also said, how to get over it? He says, Mamevi prapatyante, prapati. Sharanagati, prapati. Meaning in English, surrender. Prapati or Sharanagati means to surrender to God. The one who surrendered to me, Mayam eva tarantite. For them I will easily make them cross over. Deliver them through this, out of this 3 clutches, 3 mayas or 3 modes. I will make it easy for them to cross over. But what they have to do? Answer is over here. 7th chapter he says that one, prapati, you do prapati to me, surrender to me, I will help you. But how do I surrender? What I need to do? Bhakti yogana sevate. You do bhakti towards me, and therefore you can attain, come out of this one. Maya functions under my control. Why I should perform bhakti to you? So you can help me. Someone can ask you, what's the qualification? What do you have? How can you guarantee that you can help me? Well, everything comes from me. I am the original architect. I am the planner. I am the one who creates all this different, from the Prakriti, Mahan, Ahankar, 3 Ahankar, and Pancha Tanmatra, Pancha Jnanendriya, Pancha Karmendriya, Pancha Bhutam, and then Atma goes into that one. Who does all those things? Oh Krishna, is it you? Hey, you forgot or what? So if I am the original creator, then who has the control of everything? The creator. Therefore you do bhakti towards me, devotion towards me, love towards me, become my bhakta. Then obviously I have the control of these things. I will release you. I can release you from these things. Moving on. So what needs to be? Abhyavicharine, bhakti yogena chaya sevata. Aikantaka visheshtena. Aikantikam, yekam. Aikantikam. The bhakti should be performed in such a way, it's yeka bhakti. Yeka bhakti. Yeka bhakti means there is no more program involved in this whole thing. I am doing bhakti towards God. It should be unalloyed. Alloyed means mixed. Unalloyed means not contaminated. My bhakti is simply to please God. Not to please myself, not to please my belongings, my extended family, etc. It's just I want to please God. That's where it's called unalloyed. There's no any motive in behind what I'm trying to do. So that bhakti has to be performed. Oh, can I perform this bhakti to you? And can I perform this bhakti to him? Can I perform this bhakti to him? Excuse me. That is also wrong program. Ekaikam. To me alone you perform. Krishna is very particular. Just to me you perform. No one else can be able to free you. Why? Because everyone is caught into these 3 modes. Whomever you are thinking they are great, all the devatas, they themselves are caught into these 3 modes. They cannot relieve you. It's only it's only me who can relieve you. Therefore, the bhakti should only be performed towards Mam, to me, unto me. Why to you, Krishna? Satya Sankalpaha. Because I am Satya Sankalpaha. And then Parama Karunikam. And then he says, Ashritya Vatsalyam. Jaladim. 3 things are there within me. More is there. 3 things. What are the 3 things? Well, the first thing is Satya Sankalpam. Satya Sankalpam. If I decide something, I can get it done. Only God can do that. We can also decide something, but there is no guarantee that the things will be get done. No guarantee. So many things will change. We might have a program. For example, some of you might be thinking, right after this class, he's going to finish at 12 o'clock, which is just another 5 more minutes, which I'm not going to. Warning you. One more sloka, we are going to finish it and then finish it. Please excuse me. Right? So, 12 o'clock he's going to stop talking, and then after that we'll just go and sit there and have prasad. Token will be given. I'm going to sit there and have prasad. Idli, tuck, put it into the sambar, and right, put into your mouth. That time, tring, 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 bell rings. Well, you had everything under your control. To get out of this class, whether I am stopping or not, you can go out of the class at 12 o'clock. Go there because you have the token. You don't have a token, pay and get it, no problem. Because you have a program that 12 o'clock, 12:05, I want to put something into my mouth. 12:05, you have everything set, ready. Food to go inside your mouth. Someone calls you. And what made the delay of 12:05 for the food to go inside? You have been delayed by 5 minutes by a phone call. So we are out of control. We can only plan things to happen, but we have not the control. But Krishna says, Mom, when I think something, I'll get it done. I want you to relieve from these 3 modes, only I can do. No one else can do. Therefore, Mom. Then he said, Paramakarunyam, only I can do because I am compassionate. I am the compassionate person than anyone else. Who else can be more compassionate than Krishna, who's trying hard, working hard to get us back to him? But Krishna, I understand you are very compassionate, but do you know who I am? Atma, this Jiva is asking, you are compassionate, but I have bundle. That bundle, no one can ever finish it. Karma. That is so much I carry. When is that going to be over? Vatsalyam. You have karma, I know that. You have fault, you are not a perfect person. You make mistake. How much ever time you hear this, you are forgetting, no problem. Right? How much ever, this is all your fault. But look at me, Krishna saying. Look at me. Vatsalyaha. As a parent, I do not look at faults. I only look one thing. Are you surrendering to me? If you surrender, as a father, I take care of you. Not even look into your bad accounts. Everything is finished. Last one. Concluding sloka. Brahmano hi pratistaham amrtasya cha sasvatasya cha dharmasya sukaisya kantikasya cha. Who wants to read? You want to read? Please go ahead one more time.
And I am the basis of the impersonal Brahman, which is immortal, imperishable, and eternal, and is the constitutional position of ultimate happiness.
So here, Krishna is there again. We'll see 2 different way of this particular sloka, but we'll really go fast, won't hold you longer. When one surrenders unto me, I give them the ultimate happiness in their constitutional position, which is much greater wealth than the wealth, happiness and position of Brahma himself. What's been told here is, this person who surrenders to Krishna, God, Krishna gives him, makes him a wealthiest person. Wealthiest person, the real wealth is where you can be happy. That's what the real wealth. Money is not the real wealth. This person is happy or not. If he's having everything but not happy, that person is not the wealthiest person. Therefore, Krishna says, I'll make you a wealthiest person. Well, you're going to make me a Brahma or what? Not even Brahma. More than that. You will be with me. You can be with me. Right? If you so desire, you can be with me. What else can be more wealthy than that? Having God with us. Right? That's what the wealthiest thing. But why would your devotees attain the impersonal Brahman, which should occur only for the person who practices oneness with God without bhakti at all? So here's the different commentary by Srila Vishwanath Chakravarti Thakur. He says that Brahman, some people have a desire of want to merge with Brahma Jyoti, Brahman. And Krishna says, Pratishtaham, Brahmanohi Pratishtaham, means I am the basis of the Brahma Jyoti, where some people get very much attached. I want to merge into God. Right? Krishna is saying, it is just mine, where they are trying to get merged into. But I am the basis of it. Like how you have a effulgent light, you only see the glaring light, but behind the light there is a fuse and there is a bulb and things like that. So Krishna is telling this is just an effulgence, Brahma Jyoti, where people get attracted to that, but in reality behind this Brahma Jyoti, I am situated. I am the cause of this Brahma Jyoti. Amrita. What is Amrita? The word Amrita has been used here. Does this Amrita means nectar? Nectar, what Krishna is saying is nectar doesn't mean that you will attain a heavenly planet. And that is not the nectar here. Nectar is Vaikuntha Prapti. Or the Atma Prapti if one decides to get into Atma program. I am the basis of eternal method. So I am going to move on to the next slide. So in the Vishnu Dharma also there's a quotation has been given. In Hari Vamsa there's a quotation has been given that how Brahma Jyoti is nothing but an effulgence of Krishna, and Krishna is the main source, and one has to understand this particular concept of merging is not an ultimate goal of everyone's life. The last one question here is bhakti one gets rid of three modes, or getting rid of three modes one gets bhakti. One has to get bhakti. Therefore God, that means how does one get bhakti? One has to be free of three modes. Well, I have to be free of three modes to get bhakti, or I have to cultivate bhakti to be free of three modes. It seems to be a little catch. Therefore Krishna says, surrender to me, I give you bhakti. Through the bhakti, you can be free of three modes. Therefore, the important point here is one has to surrender to Krishna, cultivate bhakti, and perform bhakti. By doing so, easily one can be transcended the three modes. And the very easiest way and to try to cultivate bhakti is simply to start with chanting of Krishna's name. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. So this is the easiest way. There are more to add to this chanting, but to start with chanting, one can purify one's consciousness and cultivate more bhakti towards God, and easily transcend the three modes. Thank you all very much. Hare Krishna. You can come up with more questions in our next class. Please write down if you have any more questions, any questions on this topic, and then we'll continue next class. Thank you. Hare Krishna.
Please take the tokens for lunch.